Hello and welcome back to BTY. Today we're here to do our second episode of BTY Icons, and we'll be looking into Jack Harlow, his lifestyle, his career, and his mindset, anything that we can learn from him as young men.
It's good, man. Very excited to hop into it. I think our previous episode was a lot of fun to record. I know we were speaking about Michael B. Jordan, but I think today's man of the hour is Jack Harlow, and it's going to be very interesting to discuss a bit of what his career has looked like and some of the things that have made him such a success and why young people can actually look up to him in many ways, man. But to start us off, I just wanted to give a bit of a brief summary of what his career has looked like so far and a bit of his life
Yeah.
growing up. So, yeah, he was actually born there in Louisville, Kentucky, which is a city there in America. Kentucky is the state. And he said in an interview that he started rapping when he was around 12 years old. So he got going very young with his passion, and that's ended up being the thing that has taken him towards success and fame. So the fact that he stuck with it
Yeah.
has obviously paid off. But I remember when Jack Harlow first broke onto the scene, man. This was like quite early on. He had a couple of songs that did relatively well, but he was this like super nerdy white guy. He had like
Mhm.
curly hair. He had these glasses on that did not look or fit him very well. And when he was breaking onto the scene, I don't think a lot of people really took him that seriously. But if you look at where he is now, it's such a massive difference, and a lot of people have actually pointed this out. Is that the transformation that he's gone through in a few years is quite insane, and it's mainly because I think of a few key decisions that he made to change his image that have really shot him into the position that he is in now, where he is an extremely successful rapper. He's got songs that have charted on number one, for like many days at a time.
Mhm.
I mean, even that song that is out right now, I'm Vanilla Baby.
I'm vanilla, baby.
That song is doing really well. He's just having hits after hit after hit, and
Mhm.
yeah, he's collaborated with some of his idols. I know he was on a song with Kanye West. That was quite a big moment for him in his career because that was one of the guys that he actually
Yeah.
idolized growing up. So it's been really cool to see his rise, and I'm sure we're going to hop into it, man. But I think he's definitely still on the up. So it's been cool to watch his career, man. But having seen his career and knowing about him as well for the past few years, man, what are some things that have stood out to him that you like that he's done, man?
Yeah, so this is a great guy. I also enjoy listening to his music. It brings a bit of fun to my life as
Mm,
well. Just hearing what he has to say, and what stands out with me is his total self belief. So you saying him starting at the age of 12 and just keep on, like, he kept on pushing until he rose and he made something happen out of his rapping. But then again, also looking at him starting at 12. So this is something that he was doing as a hobby and just at like for leisure time, just having fun with it, and him making a career out of his passion. So that's definitely cool to look into him giving it that time and that belief that he was going to make it, like,
mm,
heads on. He could have went and studied and forgot about his career, but his music career, but he stick to his rapping, and he's actually made it for himself. And then also his authenticity, you notice that he brings his own vibe to rapping. He doesn't do what everyone else is doing, even like with how he portrays himself. He's always honest about who he is and where he came from. And he also admitted that he wasn't the best looking and how he glowed up now. So that just brings it to always being like a lesson that I can take
it's good, man.
of is being honest with yourself. Even if you have a specific weakness that you need to work on, you can be honest and say, okay, this is a shortcoming and this is something I can work on. And that's also kind of what he did, is he saw that he was a bit nerdy looking and he actually changed up his image. So yeah, that's something I can take from him.
It's very good, man. It's very good. I think Jack Harlow is someone that us as self-improvement YouTubers, there's a lot to pick at because he's quite different from other rappers, like you say, man. There's not a lot of rappers who promote like a very healthy lifestyle. If you notice
Mm-hmm.
their lifestyle, it's very like glamorous. It's spending lots of money. But if you look at like most other rappers, they are drinking and smoking and doing drugs like crazy. Messing around with different women all the time. These are things that the rapper lifestyle represents. And I
Yeah.
think Jack Harlow does it slightly different in the way, even like the way that rappers dress. It's often like tank tops and chains, which is cool. Like that. That's what
Mm-hmm.
that's what the aesthetic is about. I think Jack Harlow has sort of done
Yeah.
something different, man. Like you say, I think one thing to note is his style. If you look at how his style has changed over the
Mm-hmm.
last few years, now he's been on the cover of like the Variety magazine. He's been, um, you know, getting quite a lot of like modeling deals because people have noticed that the aesthetic that he has gone for is actually like picking up with people and they're already resonating with it.
Mm-hmm.
So even like modeling magazines and
Yeah.
agencies have reached out to him, and now he's on that sort of wave as well, which is really cool to see, man. So his style,
Mm-hmm.
I think, is something that young men and women can also learn from. In that it's worth it to take your style seriously, because style can
Yeah.
literally take you from people not taking you seriously to starting to take you
To
more
people taking
seriously.
you serious.
So yeah, that's
Yeah.
really good, man. And then what I was mentioning earlier about his lifestyle as opposed to other rappers is
Mm-hmm.
that he actually lives quite a clean lifestyle, man. He
Yeah.
publicly came out, I think, about a year or two ago, and said that he has stopped drinking and smoking. Because I think,
Mm-hmm.
like before that, he used to obviously drink and smoke also weed. But he came out and said that he
Yeah.
like intentionally went about stopping doing that, and that was a decision mainly for his health. And that kind of decision, yeah, like I said, you don't see that often in the music industry, at least not too publicly.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's the kind of thing that really makes him someone to look up to, man. The fact that he's not being pressured by others to live a certain lifestyle. He's actually trying to lead a good example in the position he's in
Yeah.
by setting that example of living a healthy lifestyle. He actually also has a workout routine, and this is something that again he's spoken about quite publicly. Yeah, he's not
Mm-hmm.
like super in shape in that he's not like buff, but
Yeah.
if you actually look at his physique right now, he is in good shape. Like you can see, he's toned, he's lean and toned. So that's the kind of
Yeah.
physical shape that he's gotten himself into, and that's by keeping a workout routine.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, these are things that I really like, man. I think not a lot of rappers have. I haven't really seen that, at least in many other rappers. So it's been cool to see that he's been promoting like a very healthy lifestyle, man.
Yeah. No, that's true. And another thing that comes to mind, like as we speak about him, is that you don't hear him swearing too much. Like even with his lyrics, rarely hear him cussing out someone, or just yeah, like following the general rapping pattern. He keeps his music clean, and it's also enjoyable to listen to because then you can actually hear what's being said. But yeah, that's just my personal opinion. And then also it's cool to see how he, as this white nerdy guy, made it in this in rapping, which is seen as like a black thing in America. And you don't really see a lot of white
Mm,
guys that do well in rapping. Another guy that I can probably mention is Eminem, NF. So there's a few guys
yeah.
that have really like stood out, and he made himself, or he made a good name for himself, and as an like outlier in that field, he's actually making a success. And like you said, he keeps rising,
Mm,
and there's consistency with him having hit after hit, and yeah, just putting in the hard work. So you can see that he's also hungry to take his rapping to another
that's
level
very good, man.
and to become the best, like you mentioned earlier. And then one thing, or like the last lesson that I can mention from him, is he remains so humble. There was this other video that was trending, or like the short on YouTube, where he invited this girl to throw like a hoop on stage with him, and then he acted as if he's known her for so long, and she like jumped, gave him a
Sure.
hug, and he was super friendly, where another rapper could have like try to act hard and just like shove them off the stage again, or pretended not to care as much, and his reaction to her actually getting the shot like was super authentic. So
It's cool, man.
yeah, that's really cool to see him, and it's something that like we can look up to, especially us that are striving to make a success out
Yes.
of our lives as well.
Yes, yeah. I think, like you say, to close off, man, I think one of the
Mhm.
most almost obvious things about Jack Harlow that stands out actually is the way that he carries himself. And this is, I think, the
Yeah.
final point to leave on why he would be a BTY icon. Is yeah, he just carries himself as such a gentleman. That's what I've noticed from
Yeah.
watching his videos online. Of course, we don't really know what a celebrity is like behind closed doors, but at least from what we can
Behind the
see of him and
scenes.
and the
Yeah.
image that he puts out, he carries himself as a gentleman. The way he speaks to
Mhm.
and treats women, obviously, he's very smooth. He likes to be a bit flirtatious, and that kind of thing has also gone viral on
Yes.
the internet a few times.
Hmm.
But I think the way he handles himself, it's not disrespectful towards women or even other men.
Hmm.
He's very
Not
much
at all.
behaves as a
Yeah.
gentleman would, which is quite classy. And yeah, classy is a good word, and also charming. I think his charm is sort of stolen the hearts of a lot of people, and a lot of girls have definitely
Yes.
fallen in love with that charm over the last little while. So yeah, man, it's been
Yeah, for
yeah,
sure.
like you say. I think one other thing before we close off as well is just the fact that, as you mentioned, he's very ambitious. So I think
Yeah.
one thing that I could see about Jack Harlow is that it's like first place or nothing. So I think he's coming for that like crown in the rapping industry, and yeah, I back him, and I'm
Yeah.
keen to see like where his music career goes from here. I'm also keen to keep hearing some bangers coming out, man. I'm gonna be playing them in the car
Bangers.
for the
Yeah.
next few years, man. But yeah, appreciate the conversation, man.
And
It was cool to hop into this with you.
yeah, I've got one more question for you
For
there.
sure.
Is that like tell us and tell the viewers what's your favorite Jack Harlow song currently?
Ooh. It's a little joint called Side Piece. Side Piece by Jack Harlow. That's my favorite song.
Lekker. Away. Nah, great stuff, man. Yeah, thanks for the vid.
It was good, man. Yeah, wanted to just say a big thank you to all of the viewers who are listening or watching to
Mhm.
this episode of BTY. Thanks so much for our previous video that actually did really well. We are trying to do things a bit differently and a bit better this year, so please give us feedback in the comments. We would really love to hear from you guys about what you thought of this video, and also perhaps who you would like us to analyze next in the next episode of BTY Icons. But if you did make it this far, please do leave a like and consider subscribing, and we're definitely looking forward to seeing you in the next one. Much love.
Cheers.